screwdrivers are easy. You got slotted, and you got Phillips. That's it, right? Two options. Nope, not even close. Slotted head driver is the cheapest to make, the easiest to make, so is the tool. I mean, one cut, you make that slot. You make this with a hammer. But it's not very precise as far as trying to use this in an assembly line. It'll get off center. You can't, it's not the best. But it's the cheapest and easiest. That's why we have it. Henry Ford didn't like them either. He actually had a contract with the Robertson Company and used the Robertson type driver. You can tell this is square. These are the only two Robertson drivers I have. They're square and they're not tapered. So these things made really good contact from the tool to the fastener. And Henry Ford had over 700 of these Robinson fasteners in a Model T. Only trouble is, Mr. Robertson, the inventor, refused to license the design to anybody else, and he would not guarantee Ford exclusive use. So Henry Ford and pretty much the entire auto industry switched over to the Phillips head system when it became available in the 1930s. It was great for mass production. I mean, the thing is on there. If you use a machine to do this, it's great. Very easy. Only trouble is, Phillips head, tool, and fastener were designed to use aluminum screws making airplanes. Now, this is a steel tool and fastener going, I'm just sitting in the vise. But if you go and try to tighten this up as tight as you can, you're probably not going to hurt anything. If this was aluminum, going into aluminum, and you go as tight as you can, you will strip all the threads out. So to make it so it didn't happen, if you watch, when I try to tighten on it, see how it's popping out? That's called a cam out. That's the design of the fastener and the tool. When it gets to a certain tension, it pops out. That's going on and going off. The tool is designed to pop out of the Phillips head, which does not help you if you are trying to put something together, or even worse, trying to remove something that's been sitting for 50 years. Now, if your whole thing is assembling 1,000 assemblies a day without breaking any parts, Phillips head's great. When you're trying to pull something apart that pops out on purpose, it's not a helpful thing to know. You want it apart. In fact, most of my life I've been cursed by having to pull Phillips heads apart, especially because it just pops out and ruins this and ruins that on Japanese motorcycles and cars. My developed procedure was I'd try it. I'd be real nice to it, please come apart. And I'd try it, and if it popped out, I'm right to the impact with the hammer, whack. Beat the heck out of it, hopefully it comes apart. If not, you got to drill it out. That's just the way it is, especially on Honda motorcycle engines and carburetors. Oh, the Japanese float bowls all have these things on them. They do that. Well, a couple years ago, I was chasing some rabbit hole down the internet, and I saw a reference to something called JIS fasteners. I didn't know what that was, but it became another rabbit hole on the internet that paid off very well. Here's the story. Japan was pretty much leveled and wiped out at the end of World War II. They had nothing left. The American Army of Occupation pretty much wanted to keep them that way. and tried to feed them, but didn't do a very good job of that either. Then the United States Congress gave billions of dollars to Europe with the Marshall Plan and pretty much ignored Japan in the Far East. So the American commander of occupation and UN commander, United States commander, everything in the Pacific, Douglas MacArthur, he decided on his own that Japan should be a strong country. Take care of itself. Not going to get any money from like Europe did. Take care of itself. So he encouraged and actually wrote the Constitution for Japan that pretty much made it so business and government worked together. 1948, a government committee came out with something called the Japanese Industry Standards. Among the standards were a new type of fastener. This looks like a Phillips head. And the tool you use on it looks like a Phillips head, but it's not. This is a JIS. This is designed to go on and not, tighten it up, not come out. Either way, it's designed to stay in, not like these things where it cams out. You have to have a JIS tool. You have to have a JIS driver or fastener. Well, once I found out about them, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get me some JIS drivers. Well, nobody makes them. This is a snap-on Phillips head I got, I don't know, years and years ago. Craftsman Phillips head, got that years ago. Snap-on straight, snap-on Phillips, another snap-on straight. Snap-on does not make JIS drivers, nor does any other American tool company. I ended up getting this kit from Vessel off Amazon for, I don't know, $60 a couple years ago. And it's the only place I can get JIS drivers. But they work. These, you put that on there, and it's like magic. And the cool thing is, the JIS fits a Phillips. And since the tool's not designed to come out, it stays in better. So the worst combination you can have is a Phillips on a JIS. The tool is designed to pop out. The screw is not, but it pops out. It pops out. That's the worst thing you can get. Japanese motorcycle. The next best is Phillips on Phillips, but they're designed to come apart. A JIS driver on Phillips is better than a Phillips in a Phillips. Then a JIS on a JIS tool, or tool on fastener, it's like magic. If you have a whole bunch of things to do, a driver with a JIS, this is magic. You can just go right down the row, something like the interior panels on my Suburban. All Phillips heads use this JIS with a driver. They come out, go back in with no troubles. It's like magic. All right. We've all heard all our lives, you got to get the right tool for the job. Well, you didn't know there was the right tool for any kind of Japanese fastener. Now you do, and it's a better tool than the Phillips head. Enjoy.